In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 best types of content to post in 2024 if you want to see success with your personal brand. And before I get into any of the types of content or strategies that you can use to achieve these types of content, you have to understand what your high effort and low effort content is. And by this I mean with high effort content, it means the content that's going to take you a long amount of time to research, create the topic, script, to record, all these different back-end kind of processes to create those types of content. And then what is your low effort content? What is the content you can quickly get out? It takes you 30 minutes to an hour to record, edit, script, do all that stuff and get out there. So you have to understand that content, the low effort and the high effort content, so you can really just plan out a schedule of when you're going to post and what you're going to post. And the reason you have to decide between a high effort and low effort content is because most people watching this video aren't full-time content creators that their full-time job is creating content. Most of you guys are either, teenagers like me, either in school or university, they want to start a personal brand, or you're a business owner, entrepreneur that wants to get more into content creation side of things as they see the importance of content creation. Now, the thing is, when you are just starting out with your content journey or you're in that middle process of content, you're comparing yourselves to people that have all the time in the world to create the best pieces of content possible. Like the Devin Jathos of the world, Alex Hormozi, Houston Cold, all these kind of people on Instagram Reels and YouTube creating amazing pieces of content with the best editing, recording, filming, audio, everything like that. Now, if you compare yourself to them, you're just going to get burnt out because your videos realistically can't come close to them unless you have loads and loads of money to spend or loads of time to spend creating those types of videos. So you have to really allocate your time efficiently. So creating those high quality videos to the amount of time you have. Because to me, I post those sit down kind of content on my Instagram around 3 times per week. And if I try and do more of that and try and get more videos out, it'll cost me more money and take up too much of my time for other tasks that I could be doing. So to allocate my time efficiently, I do 3 of those. I do then 2 short reels and then 1 or 2 animations per week. That's my schedule that I kind of run through. Because I understand I don't have all the time in the world, so you have to choose efficiently what you're going to create. So let's come right into the 3 types of content to post in 2024. So the first type of content is sit-down content, like this but for Instagram Reels. Basically where you build an emotional connection with your viewer and you can also nurture them through that content. Because this kind of content back around a year ago used to be all about being fake and just giving straight value out there. But it's changed in 2024. Now you need to have some sort of authenticity to really show that you're not just a fake social media guru, but you're actually someone that wants to help the audience with their value. And that is what authenticity brings in. Because if you're just going around giving value and being fake and copying everyone else like the Devin Jathos style, people can read that. They're not the stupidest people in the world. People can tell you're being fake. So if you're authentic and you're raw with the way you're speaking, then authenticity with the sit-down content will help you get some views onto your page. I'm going to teach you the 4 pillars of how to actually create good sit-down content. And the first one is to pick a style, because you need to be unique when it comes to content creation. You can't just copy everyone else, like the Devin Jathos style, like the Alex Hormozi style. You can't just copy their styles. You have to make your own one. And the first aspect of that is choosing a color palette. Now, there's a website called Coolors, which you can go onto, and it has loads of color palettes so you can choose from that work together. But the rule I really suggest you guys use is doing a 70-20-10. So 70% of the colors you use are going to be kind of boring, bland ones, like I use black, or you can use like black and whites and stuff like that, but I use black. Then the 20% is another color that kind of matches the black, so it kind of matches the 70% one, which I use white. And then the 10% is your kind of more unique brand theme color, which I use blue for. So I have black, white, and blue, and you guys can choose the ones that work together as well. Like Houston Cold uses black, red, and then kind of bluey purples as its extra color. You can use different kind of ones, and the good thing about starting a content creation journey is it is a journey. So at the beginning, not that many people are going to see your account. It's not going to get crazy amounts of views unless you're super, super lucky or you really do know what you're doing. So at the beginning of the content journey, you can post to people, and it's going to be the time where you reach the least amount of people, because you're only going to keep growing with your content. So the beginning is where you reach the least amount of people, so it's your time to trial and error. Then the second bit is editing style. So basically, you need an editing style that matches your theme. So say you're a motivation page that posts inspirational edits. You don't want some hyper-edited Devin Jathos editing style video. You want some more basic, casual with an audio in the background. The reason why this is so important is because you need to match your theme. Because if people just see you posting things that don't relate, then it's going to be hard to really grow on social media. So definitely communicate with your editor properly. This is the main important thing, because most editors that you want to be hiring that charge, $10 to $30 and have good skill tend to be from countries like India, Pakistan, Eastern Europe, Philippines, and those kind of areas. And their communication skills sometimes aren't the best. You can find some with good ones, but some aren't. So you have to be wary of that. But to train them up, you have to give them a free training that's step by step. You can record this with Loom, giving them the exact details of what you want to encompass with your brand, and also how you want your brand to be represented and your goals for your personal brand. Because if they don't understand that, they'll end up doing Iman Gaji style edits on a motivation video, and you don't want that. So make sure you really do communicate with them properly. But how do you actually find the editors? So to find editors, what I use for my business, because I actually hire editors placed into businesses. So I have a pipeline with loads of editors that I can actually refer your way if you just leave me a DM on Instagram or you comment in the video down below. But another way, if you don't want to do that, is to find them through like Instagram. Usually they have pretty big egos on Instagram because the gurus tell them they could charge a lot. It's just probably don't use Instagram, but you can if you really want to. And then the next one is onlinejobs.ph. Basically, this is a one just for Filipino people. Then the editing skills can be good and the prices are low. It just depends on the real skill that they have, because a lot of the time it could be basic, so it depends on what you want. Then the second point is how to find topics. So to topics, there are 3 methods you can do for this as well. So Quora.com method, basically just go to Quora, sign up for free, and then you can just search a keyword like content marketing for me or social media marketing. It'll then give you thousands and thousands of questions the people are currently asking about your niche. You could take those and use them as topic ideas, and when you click on that question, it'll come up with loads and loads of replies to that question, meaning you have your value aspect as well. So that's also a benefit you can get from using Quora. Another one is vidIQ Vision. vidIQ Vision is a tool where it's more for YouTube content creators, but you can basically sign up, you go to the competitors tab, so you put someone in from your competition. So for me, it'd be like Alex Hormozi or Devin Jatho. You click and then you can sort through the data ranges to find their best performing videos on YouTube compared to their worst performing videos. Then you can take the best performing ones and turn them into your own short form content ideas. So you have a viral, proven ideas to put onto your Instagram. And the last one is to steal like an artist. Blending like I used to with my old Instagram reels. If you take a look at them, I was just copying Devin Jatho, and even was for a bit copying Houston Cold. But it's when I started to create my own style is when I actually create my own editing style is when I actually started to pick up the views. And that means you just have to find the kind of editing style that you really do need from the editors. So to find those topics from Instagram, you just take from a viral creator, you take their topic and you add your own spin to it. So you add your own hook, your own the way you say the value, and also the CTA, you direct them to a different lead magnet or you direct them to the same website. Just make sure the storytelling of the video is different than the original one. Because to be honest, the original one isn't really the original. They probably just stole it off another creator, because the entirety of Instagram and social media platforms is just repurposing the same content in different ways, because not everyone is going to see the original video. Now, how to write scripts. I can't really give you a cheat sheet or hack to do scripts. You can do a ChatGPT prompt I'll leave right here, and I'll leave it in the description as well. But this will only give you the framework, so the hook, value, CTA framework, and kind of the structure of how to do it. But you need to add your own personal experiences, personal results to show that credibility, because if you don't have that, it's going to be hard for you to become a credible authority in your niche if you're not showing what you've actually done. And also, ChatGPT won't give you that personal recollection because it just doesn't know you. So you have to add and change your scripts. I usually just add like a part of my schedule one day for completely doing scripts, because it is hard. And also, even when it comes to me recording a video like this, doing for my reels as well and for YouTube, I don't follow the scripts word by word, because sometimes when I write it, it sounds good in my head, but it won't sound good when I speak it. So just make sure you're following a structure, not an exact script. Then how to record with authority. Now, the best way to do this is to have a high quality setup. Like, I'm 16 and it's up to you obviously, but I have some sort of authority just because I have a good mic, some good lighting, lighting back there. I'm seeing more of an authority than someone that just records in a blank basement, or if there's just a wall behind me, it would just look a bit weird and wouldn't give me that sense of authority. But it gives me more of an authority because I have a nice setup, and it's probably cost me in total around like 2,000 to 3,000 pounds to purchase everything in my setup. You can get it for cheaper, but this is what I wanted to invest my money into, because being someone that isn't 18, I don't have that many expenses. So I just spend my money on things that would invest, to being more efficient with my content. Now you can obviously do the same, and I'll obviously leave some links down below for what equipment I've bought and some other ones that you can get on a budget as well. And that really is it when it comes to sit down content. You just have to focus on the hooks and the value and the CTA. Just focus on really splitting them and separating those parts up and making sure they're as good as possible, and spending time creating good scripts, especially when you're just starting out. And really just building that emotional connection with kind of authenticity as well, just making sure you don't seem someone that's fake. And also ultimately all of this kind of sit down content is to nurture. You want to be nurturing your already existing followers, viewers, seeing your content over and over again, so keeping consistent with that content so they have a reason to buy from you, giving the value out for free so they have a reason to buy from you. And the next type of content I'm going to be talking about is short reels, the creative reels like the people like Creator.io see about, Incognito, Create Nam, Create with Tim, all these other people that are going pretty viral within their niche because of their short reels. Now there is a limitation of this because they're not really showing their faces. It's not a faceless brand, but it kind of is at the same time, because they're not really building that emotional connection with the viewer. So it will be harder for you to go ahead and sell to, the people with the, faceless brand sort of, but it is good for getting views. So it depends on what you really want, because this is the type of low effort content I'm talking about. This content will get you views that you can then nurture with the sit down content. So people that only post these short reels, they go viral, but it's going to be harder for them to sell. So if you can combine both of them for your high effort and low effort content, this is what will hit. But realistically, when you're focusing on the short reels, here are the two things you need to focus on. So the first thing is the caption. Basically, I'm going to give you in a second the 10 best that I found that you can use to start out with the short reels, and also the aesthetic of the video. Now, basically what it is going to be dark, like a kind of darker theme. You can actually record this way on the iPhone. You can also do a rich aesthetic, or you can do Apple aesthetic. Basically Apple is like clocks, laptops, headphones, just kind of creating an aesthetic for your page that you consistently have. And the thing that's trending right now is that dark theme. Here are the 10 hooks and captions that you can use for your short reels. So I'll read them now. My client got X result in X amount of time. Here's how we did it. Niche platform, example Instagram, doesn't care about what X strategy you use. Do this instead. I want to desired result off of niche, but I don't know where to start. I want to desired result, example, become financially free in the next 2 months. Read the caption. How I went from undesirable outcome to desirable outcome in just 30 days. Everyone is making money off of niche, but I don't know how. Then I did X action for X amount of time, and here is what happened. In my first month, I made X income, and in my 10th month, I made Y income. Here's what we did different. Or here's what I did different. Don't start doing X action in your niche without this one thing. Then here is the X strategy that made me my first desirable income. Now, for a lot of these, it's all about leveraging their own results, because you can't build that much credibility when you're not speaking to the camera and building that emotional connection. So the caption is super important to build up that credibility for yourself and your brand. The major example of this would be, in my first month I made X income, and then in my 10th month I made Y income. Here's why I did different. Now what it's showing is basically, here is the situation that I was at that you're probably at as well. Then here's the situation I'm at, the desirable outcome that you want to achieve. Then I am the solution that's going to bring you to there. All you got to do is read the caption. You're the solution. Take this as sort of like an influencer. LeBron James, let's say, he wears a Nike shoe. People will now want to wear the same shoes that he's wearing to become like LeBron James. Now, that's the same for this. People want to, they're at this situation now where they're not, say, good at basketball. Then they want to listen to the short reel caption so they can become better and achieve this situation and be like the person that you're saying is the short reel achievement. So they basically, you want to make it feel like they are at a current situation and they want to become like you, with the caption being the solution. That's kind of the framework of short reels. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple with short reels. That's kind of your low effort content that you want to be posted. You can probably get those out if you can even just batch them. You can record like loads of B-roll, batch them in like 10 to 30 of them in one go and just edit them really quickly, because it's super easy to do. You can just check out creators like I post those kind of content, Creator.io, they post that kind of content, and just really then bring into your own style. And the last type of content that you want to be focusing on is podcast and Q&A. Now there's two routes you can take with the podcast and Q&A style. There's the first one where you completely just fake like recording a podcast, so you're talking to no one. Like say there's no one on the other end of this, I'm kind of just talking to the side, so it looks like I'm talking to someone else, but I'm not. Because for podcasts, it's all about building up that level of authority. Because if you're talking on a podcast, the viewer will think, well, he's on there for a reason, so I must have to hear him out. And that's the thing you want. You want them to hear you out, because a lot of the time people will scroll past the video just for the first 1 to 2 seconds because they get bored and they don't really feel like watching a video because it doesn't look appealing, or they're going to get something from it. So if you do it on a podcast, it automatically gives that initial interpretation you're going to give something valuable to them. And then the other option that you can do is actually just record and go on to those podcasts with like other people. So like the Iman Gadzhi model, the Andrew Tate model, the Luke Belmar model, they all go on podcasts, and then they get their team, they clip up loads of clips, and then they post it out all over social media. Now, the problem with this is you have to understand storytelling. If you're not a good storyteller and you don't know how to have a beginning, middle, end to your like podcast things, you're saying the content isn't that good for quotes, then realistically it's not going to work for you, because you're just speaking for 3 minutes with no structure at all. It's all kind of scrambled all over the place, talking about many topics. It's not going to be clippable for your editing team, and there won't be any controversy made. And controversy is the main thing you want. Negative affirmations, positive affirmations, and nothing in between. And that's what we did for our client when we got him 10,000 views plus on YouTube Shorts, and also getting 100,000 views plus on Instagram. YouTube Shorts specifically is what we are focusing on now for our client. And the reason this did pretty well is, and actually got loads and loads of engagement, is because what we did, we clipped up. It's not about us though as well. It's also about the client, because he was a good storyteller and he understood that he needed to create podcast clips that we could actually clip up. So basically our client succeeded with the recession. He took the recession as an opportunity to make money. And in that video he talked about how the reason the middle class stay where they are is because they don't take opportunities like the recession, and he was waiting for another recession to come because he wanted to make more money off it. Now this has negative affirmations from people who suffered from the recession and had seen some people suffer from the recession. They leave a negative comment, but the people who have positive affirmations are the ones that actually took the opportunity, like my client, and did well in the recession. So as a positive or negative, there is not any in between, which means it will get comments and it will get engagement to boost further. That's why it got 10,000 views plus. Now that is basically the premise of podcast and Q&A style. You have to create some sort of controversy or negative emotion so people comment, because negative emotions are more polarizing, getting people to comment on the videos. With all of these kind of styles that you can choose, you still need to again understand how much time you have to create this types of content, because it's not the easiest of things to spend all your time creating content, and I completely get that, even though the opportunity for content is so important. Because I guarantee the next 10 years content will still be the most important thing, because technically we're still at the beginning stages of content creation. We're not that far ahead. Like Instagram Reels only came out pretty recently if you think about it. So you need to realize that this is opportunity you need to get into now, and these kind of content is what's going to be trending for the next couple years, or at least for the next couple of months. Then you can adapt, and obviously I'll release new videos about that every 2 weeks or something like that, and I'll keep you guys updated as well. So if you want to stay updated with the kind of content types you'll be posting, and just for more content tips in general, drop a subscribe on my channel, drop a follow on my Instagram for more tips on there as well, and I'll see you in the next one.